In my land, the gods were jealous. They demanded everything, even the hearts of their priestesses. I saw it happen. I saw what they did to Nola, and the warrior who dared to love her. In the kingdom of Zaramoko, the sun beat down on the savannah, and our lives were ruled by tradition. The most sacred of these traditions was the priesthood. Our priestesses were not ordinary women. They were chosen at birth, vessels for the gods, and their purity was the kingdom's shield. They were forbidden from the simple touch of a man, from the warmth of a family, from the love that makes us human. They belonged only to the gods. Nola was the youngest of them. I remember her as a girl, with eyes that held the depth of the night sky. She was chosen for her spirit, a quiet strength that you could feel. She walked as if the earth whispered its secrets to her. And then there was Korin. He was the lion of our army, the fiercest warrior Zaramoko had ever known. His body was a map of battles won, his hand sworn to protect the kingdom, its people, and its sacred laws. He was a man of duty, his heart shielded like his body. But fate does not ask for permission. During the festival of the New Yam, Korin's guard was assigned to the High Priestess's procession. Nola walked at the front, a vision in white and beads. For a moment, her eyes, full of devotion to the gods, met his, full of duty to the kingdom. In that single glance, a spark was lit, a fire that would later threaten to burn down everything we knew. The world shifted, and I, a simple weaver, saw it all begin. Korin's duty often placed him in Nola's path. He would escort her and the other priestesses to the sacred groves for their dawn rituals. The law was clear. He was to protect, not to speak. They walked in silence, separated by a dozen guards and 1,000 years of tradition. But their eyes spoke a language of their own. A stolen glance across a crowded market. A shared look as the sun rose over the baobab trees. These small moments were all they had, but they were enough. The silence between them grew heavy, filled with words they could not say. One night, the moon was a sliver of light in the dark sky. Korin waited for her by the ancient baobab tree at the edge of the village, a place where lovers used to meet before the new laws. His heart hammered against his ribs, a war drum of its own. When Nola appeared, a shadow in the moonlight, the air grew still. He had never heard her speak his name before. "Korin," she whispered, and the sound was both a prayer and a curse. He stepped forward, his resolve breaking. "Nola," he said, his voice thick with emotion he had suppressed for so long. "I cannot be silent any longer. My heart is yours. It has been since the day I first saw you." Tears streamed down Nola's face, catching the faint moonlight. She did not move away. "You speak of madness," she wept, her voice trembling. "The gods claim my heart, my life. To love you is to invite death, for both of us." But even as she spoke the words, she leaned into his touch as he reached for her hand. Their love was a crime, a betrayal to the gods, and they both knew it. Secrets in Zaramoko have a way of coming to light. The high priest, a man whose eyes missed nothing, had noticed the change in Nola. He saw the flicker of life in her that was not devotion. He saw the way Korin's gaze lingered on her for a moment too long. He set a trap, and they walked right into it. He followed them. He heard Korin's confession under the baobab tree. The next morning, as the kingdom gathered, he dragged Nola before the king. He accused her of the highest treason, betraying the gods. He declared her impure, a vessel tainted by forbidden love. Her sentence was swift and terrible, a ritual death to appease the gods and cleanse the land. The kingdom was thrown into fear. The gods demanded blood, the priest said. The sky seemed to darken, and a heavy silence fell over Zaramoko. Preparations for the sacrifice began. Nola was locked away, and Korin was stripped of his rank, his spear and shield taken from him. He was a lion caged, his roars of protest ignored. The day of the execution arrived. The air was thick with the smell of incense and fear. Nola was led to the great shrine, her face pale but her eyes defiant. But Korin was not a man to be caged. He had spent the night gathering those loyal to him, warriors who believed in a man's heart more than a priest's decree. As the high priest raised the sacrificial knife, a war cry tore through the air. Korin and his men stormed the square. It was a rebellion, brother against brother. Steel clashed against steel. The war drums, once used to celebrate victories, now thundered for a civil war. In the chaos, a torch was knocked over. The dry thatch of the shrine caught fire instantly. Flames swallowed the shrine, painting the sky with smoke and ash. Korin, armed and fighting with the fury of a man with nothing to lose, fought his way through the king's guards. He saw Nola through the fire, standing tall even as the world burned around her. He reached her as the roof began to collapse, his body shielding her from the falling embers. He was wounded, bleeding, but his spirit was unbroken. He lifted her into his arms and carried her out of the inferno, into the heart of the battle he had started for her. As they emerged from the burning shrine, a sound like the sky breaking in two silenced the battle. A bolt of lightning, fierce and white, struck the heart of the shrine, shattering the stone altar. The fighting stopped. Everyone stared, their weapons forgotten. The people fell to their knees. It was a sign. The gods themselves had passed judgment. Their laws were not of fear. Love was not forbidden. In the confusion that followed, Korin and Nola vanished. They slipped past the stunned guards and ran, beyond the borders of Zeramoko, into the vast, open savanna. Some say they died out there, in the wilderness, but I don't believe that. The elders, when they speak in hushed tones, say they traveled far and founded a new kingdom. A kingdom built not on fear, but on the belief that the heart must be free. A kingdom ruled by love. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel for more tales from our land.